Hey everybody, welcome back to New Windsor. This is Prez, and you're watching episode 15 of a City Skyline series where we're building a New England city set in the autumn. Right now we're looking at what we built last episode. We built this sports complex by the university. Finally finished Hawking University here, and we're going to be naming the sports team in the next episode. Lots of new stuff last episode, but this episode we've got a lot of new stuff as well. So this episode we're going to be building the central train station. We're going to be building a commercial/residential district. We're going to be building a library/city hall. You could decide that. We're going to be detailing the side of the interchange that's near downtown finally. But yeah, that's a general outline of the episode, so let's get straight into it. Alright, so we're working on the central train station right here. We're using the assets by Beard Monkey, the Malmo station assets, which are really awesome because they're modular. You could just do whatever you want with them. And as you can see, I've pretty much made a through station out of what is really supposed to be just a terminus station by clipping the two buildings together. And it worked. So this is as per the suggestion of a subscriber named Brandon, who gave me a lot of ideas for the station, and just thanks so much for that, Brendan. I'll link his Twitter in the description. You can follow that. He's working on like a Rochester project right now, which is actually really cool. I was talking to Brandon through the Steam chat feature, which just came out, and actually, I created a Steam chat of my own, so follow the link in the description. It's the first link, and you'll be able to just immediately join my City Skylines chat room. So I'll be on there a decent amount, and a bunch of other people who like City Skylines will hopefully be on there, and it's going to be a great way to just meet other people who like the game. Yeah, so we've got 3 voice channels where you can just join and talk to people, and just, you know, about City Skylines or whatever. And you've got 4 different text channels, like one's just home where you can just talk about general stuff, share your creations where you can just share your City Skylines work with everybody else. Then you've got a City Skylines help text channel where you can just ask for help about your game if you're having some problems. Hopefully we could build a community there that just helps each other out. And we've got an off-topic channel where you can just talk about anything not City Skylines. If you'd like, you know, be it anime or, I mean, please don't do that. You know, but keep it to like Planet Coaster or something. Just keep it, you know, safe for work. But yeah, in short, I just want to build a community out of here, and I think we could have a lot of fun and make a nice, large City Skylines community group chat here on just on Steam. And what I like about this is it's just really accessible. Like, everybody's got Steam. If you're watching this video, you've got Steam. So, you know, anybody can join this chat, and you got nothing to lose. So just come on over, and yeah, we can have a great time. Once again, first link in the description. Yeah, so in terms of what's going on in game right now, we're working on this historic clock tower plaza, I guess. This is in downtown, or near downtown at least, sort of across from the train station, and I'm really happy with how that ends up turning out. We just laid the baseline just now, but we're using this Park Life asset, that clock tower that you saw, and I'm really a fan of that asset. I've been meaning to use it for a while, just since the DLC came out, so finally got to use that. Very happy about that. I think it's the perfect spot too, and that'll be right next to that big building we'll place later, which is the City Hall/library. You'll be able to decide that yourselves. Just a note, sorry if I sound weird in this episode. I have a cold of some sort right now. Fortunately, I'm almost over it, but I'm very, very nasally. Hopefully you can get through that just for this one video. Anyway, so right now we've been working on this commercial district. Right now we're detailing the clock tower that we were working on before, just adding some of these vanilla decals that came out recently, these cobble decals, which I like because they're sort of larger in scale and you could see them from pretty far away in terms of the detail they add. We're just doing a lot of various stuff. This isn't a very organized episode. And by the way, just another note, the overviews that you see, I don't actually go exactly into, you know, what we're going to be doing. Like, I exclude some stuff from the overviews at the beginning of the videos just to make it simpler. But just to try to give you a general idea of what we're doing. But yeah, so right now we are working on the train station once again, and I know we worked on it before. See, I'm on and off, like, all over the place in this episode. Sorry about that, but this was a very hard episode to make just because the area I was making it in was really, really troublesome. Yeah, I managed, and I mean, right now we're working on the bus station for the train station. I end up actually removing one of those bus stations that I placed. I actually rotate the other one sideways. I mean, you'll only see that in the final cinematics, but I did that just because the cars from the main road were actually driving onto the bus station and causing a lot of trouble, just because they thought the bus station was a throughway. So yeah, this game is really weird in terms of the mechanics, but you just have to work around it. I mean, so right now we're detailing this river with these surface rocks, and I'm not really a fan of how this turned out, but I can't really do anything else with it. See, I have to raise this avenue up pretty high to make it cross the rails, and that creates a massive slope, and the river's pretty narrow right here, so I had to just deal with it and place a bunch of surface rocks. I'm just trying to cover it with trees though, because obviously it is New England. So remember when we changed the skyline a couple episodes ago, maybe 2 months ago now? Yeah, it's time to do that again. I love New Windsor Skyline. I've developed it in a very purposeful way. I put every building where it is for a reason, and sometimes I make mistakes, so we have to make changes over time. This building right here is too tall. I actually sunk it down when I initially put it here, but it needs to be sunken down even more. What happens is it really just overpowers the skyline, and it's just too tall considering where it is in the city. So I decided to sink it down even more, and I think it looks a lot better now. Look at that. It's a lot less overpowering, but you still get all the detail of the asset, the roof, the walls, everything like that. Also, this building is a little bit too modern. This building from San Diego, it doesn't seem to fit the architectural style of New Windsor. I like the shape a lot though, so I decided to replace it with a newer asset by King Leno, which is a really, really awesome high-rise building, which has a spire, and it looks exactly like what you'd see in New England. The theme is perfect, so I've decided to go with that instead. This is probably not the end of the changes to the skyline, but I'm much happier with this skyline. It looks a lot more realistic. After I finished recording this video, I did do a live stream, and we didn't really accomplish anything in that live stream, except I figured out that what I was planning for a certain part of town was not going to work exactly how I expected, and it took me like 2 hours to figure that out. So, you know, sometimes lessons are hard to learn, but yeah, just wanted to mention that it's not really public, the replay, but you can actually look on my Twitter. You should be able to find the replay somewhere there. It's unlisted, so you can access it, but yeah, it was sort of boring. We didn't do all that much. Just wanted to mention that. But anyway, right now we're working on this huge building right here. This is an unbelievable asset. Probably one of the most realistic and detailed assets on the workshop. Dare I say, the most detailed asset on the workshop by Boldly Building. This is an unbelievable asset. It's this library from Chicago, and it looks incredible. It's so detailed. You'll see the cinematics later. Literally the inside of the building is detailed with tables and stuff. So it's crazy how detailed this asset is. But anyway, I'm not sure what this should be even. Like, I've just placed it. I'm thinking we've got two options. We should make it a library, or we should make it a city hall. If you got another idea, tell me in the comments. But I'm going to put a poll up on the top right corner of the screen right now, and you should be able to vote for a city hall or a library to decide what this should be. I'm sort of leaning towards City Hall myself because this seems like the perfect building for a really cool historical city hall for the city. But a library could work too, and that's what it normally is in Chicago, in the real world. But yeah, I think a city hall could be really awesome because this is like right in downtown. It's a perfect location for it too. So I don't know, it's your choice. So vote in that poll, and we'll see how that turns out. But across the street, I'm building some shopping, just some little commercial. I've placed a Barnes & Nobles here, and I'm placing some smaller shops as well, just as we go down the hill. Clipping them together was a little bit unrealistic, but it works. I mean, it's just the roofs are sort of weird, but that's sort of what you have to deal with in-game when you're, placing shops like this. But yeah, I placed that parking garage across the street you saw. I actually get rid of that, and off camera I built a parking lot for the city hall / library. Pretty small parking lot, but you'll see it works, and there's a lot of street parking as well. Right now we're detailing the Interchange area, which I've been neglecting for a long time. I've been waiting to do this area for a long time. Waiting not happily. It's a really awkward area to detail and to build in, and it's right by downtown. So it was really weird deciding what to do, but I realized that in New England cities, a lot of the time near downtown, you will have big areas that are just filled with trees. It's not all that built up all the time. In reality, it's not that unrealistic. So right now, actually, we're detailing the interchange we made in one of the first episodes. And this was detailed before, but it was very, very outdated. So I decided to get rid of most of the detailing and just add it again. And I was worried it would take a long time, but it wasn't that bad, actually. I just replaced the trees with some newer ones. I replaced a bunch of the leaves decals with my oil texture, which I have, which is a custom texture I have locally that's just got leaves, and it's based on Ronix's leaves texture, so it sort of works with the actual leaves decals, but it's made life a lot easier for me over time, because when I first started the city, I had no idea how to detail an autumn city. My detailing is a lot more consistent and clean looking now. working on a new neighborhood over here near the shoreline where we're trying to just fill it with some nice looking buildings that are sort of row houses, and there is this one house that's not a row house. It's the house we're working on right now. It's got its nice 2-car garage, and this person did not want to give up their land. And I guess this is a house that's been in the family for a while. The family is somehow genetically filled with a bunch of hoarders, and it's just a bunch of people who have a bunch of junk. And this is a little bit inspired by $2.20's new episode of his Down Under series, where he had some dude with an airplane in his backyard. And, you know, I'm not quite going that far, but these people are right in downtown, and they have prime real estate, and they're just filling their lot with junk, and they're not selling their house to, you know, new developers, which I guess is a little bit respectable in a way. But, you know, there's a story to this place, and you know, their driveway's a mess. They've got piles of, you know, trash everywhere. They're really just that bad neighbor that nobody really likes, and they're just hoarding everything they've ever seen in their lives. You know, there's always that one person, and it's always great to create a story behind projects you create in the game. I've learned that from Fresh Popcorn. All of his stuff in San Miniato was just so cool because everything had a story behind it, and I think that's just the coolest thing. When you do that, you create a less generic city, and everything sort of falls together. It's weird. It's like I just had that idea in my mind. This person's gonna be that awful neighbor with trash in his backyard, and, you know, it just came together, and that's one of my favorite parts of the city now, that lot. Now, I'll include that in the cinematics later so you can really get a good overview of it. You know, once again, just try to add a story to the stuff you create in your city, and it just all comes together that way. I've mentioned this like 5 times, but can't stress it enough. Alright, so we've finished detailing the other side of the train station, just added a parking garage and stuff. I didn't have room for a parking garage, like, on the other side. I did place that big parking garage you saw earlier in the episode, and I guess that could be a municipal mixed-use parking garage owned by the city as well. And maybe that's also used for the city hall / library, who knows. But this one is specifically for the train station. It's directly attached to the train station, and I am a big fan of that. I'm using the modular parking garage from the workshop. I don't know what it's called exactly. You can find it in my collection in the description, but anyway, right now we are building a neighborhood, or the start to a neighborhood that is not all that well off. This neighborhood is a little bit run down, and this is pretty much what happens exactly when you cross over the railroad. It just turns from a pretty decent neighborhood into not so nice, and it's not terrible at this point, but it will get way worse as we expand. Next episode, we're going to be building a not so good neighborhood. It's going to be called The Other Side of Town next episode, and we're going to be building a lot of sort of rundown parking lots and garages and warehouses and shopping centers. It's not going to be all that nice. So far in the city, we've been building some pretty well-off middle-class neighborhoods, but it's always important to remember that not everybody is that well-off, so you also have to include that reality when you're making a city. So that's going to be an interesting episode next week. Right now, we're sort of starting the transition into that area. Like, not everything here is exactly pristine or anything. It's, we've got some small business at Vic and Bill's Market, some little warehouses over here, and these small businesses haven't recovered so well from the financial crash like the major retail stores have. Realize it was the end of the video, but anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video. It makes it easier to find for other people, and subscribe if you're new around here, and hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button to get notified whenever I upload a new video so you never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I post lots of screenshots and polls and updates on my Twitter, and I use my Instagram to post my best screenshots and create a nice gallery, so follow me there as well. Those are both in the description. Another thing, once again, you should definitely join the Steam chat for City Skylines that I created. That is the first link in the description, so make sure to join that. I really want to create an awesome community there, but that's pretty much it. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and hope to see you on the Steam chat, and I'll see you next time.